Hey! Hey, welcome back everybody. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Welcome to a new, second attempt at doing some Playdate Dev, because apparently I didn't learn my lesson the first time around, so I'm back for more. Let me turn myself up, because I think I might be a bit quiet. Let me know how everything is sounding, so I can adjust. So yeah, Playdate Dev. I tried that not too long ago, and it didn't go well. I made a few mistakes, like using some OBS features that I didn't know how to use. So it kind of broke a bunch of times, and it was very annoying. And also, I made the mistake of starting to learn how to code for Playdate, stopping for a few days, and then going back in without refreshing myself, which meant that I basically forgot everything. And so it was a pretty frustrating stream, and I decided to just make the VOD disappear from the face of the earth. But now I've taken some time to actually code and get all of that stuff inside this big old bunny brain, and I think I'm ready to give it another try. So, welcome to everybody who's joining me today. We have someone unknown, Anthony, Dom, and Griff. Welcome. And I guess hope you're ready for an unforgettable Playdate dev stream. Let's hope I won't have to private the VOD again. Okay, so let us begin. Get out of here, you. I can punch my mic levels a little more. Alright, shall do. How's that? Because usually it's a lot closer to me, but yeah. Oop. Okay. Let's hope this is okay. If not, I can turn it up a bit more. Oh no, I'm peaking now. Uh-oh. Abort. Okay, good. Get out of here. Alright, so let's start by kind of introducing the project that I'm going to be working on today. So I would like to make a little game project called Pocket Playtime. So what is Pocket Playtime exactly? Well, it is a minigame compilation based on the WarioWare series of games, a series that you might be familiar with and that I really enjoy playing. It's great fun, and I think it would be a perfect concept for the Playdate, which is a handheld console developed by a company called Panic. It's a bit quirky and very expensive, but it looks like fun. And being a dinky, tiny handheld, I think WarioWare being a very short and fast-paced game that's, you play in short sessions would be perfect. It's gonna be developed in Lua, a programming language that is supported by Playdate using their software development kit. Yes, it has a crank also. Good point, someone. And it's a project that is co-created by my friend Ray. And by co-created, I mean she had the idea for it and she kind of roped me into working on it with her. But I'm not gonna complain, because it's honestly quite fun. Now, going into this project, there are a few challenges that I will need to overcome. The first one being that I have no immediate access to hardware, because as I've just said, this thing is expensive and I just don't have the money to spend on it. Luckily, Ray does have one, so if I ever need to test it on device, I can just ask her to do that for me, which is teamwork, I guess. I also have a little hands-on programming experience. You mostly know me for my GBG stuff, which is like programming for babies. And this is like big boy programming with like stuff like words. Now, I did spend a good portion of time lately working on this project, so I do have a bit more experience now. So hopefully it should go much smoother. And also, it's still like a big project. There are a lot of things that I need to learn how to master, like how to manage scenes, like how to be able to switch between, having a intermission screen and the actual minigame, how to handle score and difficulty and speed and whatnot. And so because of that, the scope of the game is still quite wide. So I need a solution for that, and my idea was to start smaller with a demo. More of a proof of concept than just working right ahead on a full game, because that would be difficult to manage. So what does that mean? What's in that demo? Well, why a demo, first off? It's gonna allow me to see if I can even, like, work on that, if it's a viable project, testing the waters a bit. Because obviously, if I go into a demo and I can't do it, well, that means the full project is basically just wasted. But hopefully we won't, reach that. Also, because it's not gonna be like a finished project, it's not gonna be like a full game, so it does mean less pressure, which is good because I don't work really well under pressure. And also, it's just a good opportunity for me to get acquainted with the SDK, with the concept of programming in Lua in general, and hopefully help me build a solid foundation for a future release if it happens. So what's going to be in that demo? I think for now I'm going to stick with a dozen or so minigames. It's going to be like those intro stages in WarioWare where it just kind of introduces you to the concept of the game and how you play it. And I think that's a fairly realistic goal, at least at the level I'm at. The source code will be made available on GitHub for those who would like to learn from my many mistakes. And I will try to stream my progress from time to time. And once that demo is finished, what's next? Well, I don't want to make concrete plans yet. I don't want to promise anything that I don't feel capable of delivering. But I do have a few ideas. Obviously, more minigames with more control styles. For now, I'm just going to stick with classic button controls, but maybe, if the project can get on the rails, I will make minigames using some of the features of the Playdate, like the crank or the accelerometer for tilt-based games. Maybe even have a story mode with original characters, collectible bonuses, and more. Who knows? It's all up in the air, and I really want to stress that out. This might not happen. This is not a promise or anything. This is something that I would very much like to do, but at this point in time, I don't know if I will actually be able to do it. But, let's give it a go anyway and see what happens. So I've been speaking a lot. I've been monologuing a lot. Let me catch up with the chat a bit. And we have a lot of people that joined. We have King Monk, Mr. O, Freddy Killer. Welcome, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Yes, the stream seems strangely familiar. I kind of explained why that was earlier. Also, thank you, everybody, for the lovely compliment. Thank you, Mr. O, the best floating eyeball with a mustache and a top hat of this entire platform. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And did I miss a coffee alert? Yeah, I think I did. Sorry, Mr. O, thank you for the bananas. It is very much appreciated. Thank you for your support. Right, with all that said... Oh, and I missed the... I saw that comment from King Monk saying, SDK probably stands for Super Donkey Kong, right? Duh. Everyone knows that. Okay. I did say the best floating eyeball with a mustache and a top hat. You, of course, are the best floating biblical angel eyeball surrounded by rings. It's a very important distinction. Okay, with all that said and done, let's begin our little coding adventure. And I would like to kind of show you what I've done thus far, because I did do some stuff. Let us zoom in a little. Ooh. Is it gonna let me zoom in? Yes. I'm just gonna make that small because I don't need a terminal, I think. Or I guess I might need a terminal, but I'll just keep it there for now. But that's probably too big. Okay. So this is my project so far, and I've been doing some work behind the scenes to, you know, just build those foundations that I was mentioning. I've already made one microgame, which I'm going to show you right now. So let me build the game and show it off to you. I don't think I needed to zoom in that much. Alright, so hope you're ready, because this is going to be intense. So I basically recreated the microgame called Gold Digger, which is the one where you pick your nose. So I've got my nose here, and I can just... Oop, and I missed. Great. I'm going to disable collisions, and I can just retry. And if I get it in, then that's great. And I also did the whole detection, so it can detect if you're hitting the edges of the nostrils or the middle of the nose, like this, with unique animations for each, and of course, the middle of the nose as well. But if you get it in, then yeah, that counts as a win. By the way, let me know if you can actually hear the sound effects. Because there are sound effects, but I don't know if they're getting through. I'm guessing probably not. Just let me know, and maybe I can try to arrange something. Oh, you're not hearing anything. Uh-oh. Dang, how do I do that? Okay. Just switching back to the main scene for a bit. And I shall try and make it work. I'm still not very good at this whole, audio thing. What a microgame star on, yeah. Okay, so that's odd, because it is actually picking up some stuff. Maybe I should just be pushing it to you. What if I do this? I feel like it might be a bad idea. Okay, let's give that another go. How about now? Can you hear anything? Yes, hey, nice. Okay. Yeah, I just sniped some sound effects from WarioWare DIY. And I just put them in, and it worked. Cool. Alright. I guess we can then continue. Yeah, we hear the nose bounce. Excellent. Wonderful. Unmistakably DIY. Yeah. Alright, Mr. O, hope it goes well at the doctor. I can catch you again later. Alright, so that's one minigame done out of, I said 12, right? Out of 12. But now I do want to work on that intermission screen, because, right now it's a bit sad. And I'm gonna bamboozle you and actually do an A-Sprite thing. Let's go. So I'm gonna make a new document here, and I will quickly grab the Playdate palette, so we can get working on this. Absolutely bamboozled, yeah. Alright, so let's do... I really want to do like a radio intermission screen. I know it's like shamelessly copying the one from the WarioWare series, but you know, it's a safe bet, I think. So I guess I'm gonna have like speakers on the side and a little screen, of course. Oh, what if I'd made a television instead? And like you have little dials, and the dials could be your lives. That could be fun, also. Yeah, let's give that a go and see how we end up getting. So I'm gonna make a screen. GBG palette looking gorgeous all of a sudden. Yeah. Yeah, so one of the quirks of the Playdate is that it can only show two colors, black or white. So that's a very interesting limitation to try and get around of. Alright. Oops. There we go. And let's round that off a bit. Oh, also I forgot to put the now playing thing on. Let me fix that. There we go. Hopefully it won't be too distracting if needed. I can just do a little shrinkage. Sorry for those who watch in low res. There we go. It's gonna look a bit jank, but I can accept that. Alright, let's keep going with our little TV screen. Really like the bits and bobs OST. The fact that it seems like such a fun game, it's just an added bonus as well. Okay, so that's rounded up enough, I think. And I can probably just have like a little guy on the screen, like to signify a loss and stuff, as well as display messages. Alright, let's do some dials. Sorry, Freddy Killer. I know what it feels like. I do really want a new WarioWare DIY as well. WarioWare DIY stream. I mean, I can arrange that probably sometime, eventually. Because the last time I did one, it was pretty fun. Alright, dial. I guess it's gonna be something like that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that is looking like a dial. Maybe I can be fancy and add like a little shadow. Ooh, now we're talking. Now that's advanced pixel art. Yeah, I can probably just copy it then. How do I duplicate a layer? Like that. Oops. I don't want to delete. I want to duplicate. I kind of wish I could like have a proper layer list on the side here. Unfortunately, Playdate doesn't really make a difference between a timeline and a layers list. Oh, it's a shame. Okay, let's get those arranged. Oh, I need to try and distribute the space between them. So we got 16, 32, 40? 40 divided by 3. Uh-oh. Well, I guess I can just do that and call it a day. There we go. Yeah, that's looking alright. I do like that. And I could also like animate them as well. Alright, and 13. Roughly. Yeah, I can't. That probably won't look nice. Because the screen is like evenly sized. So I'll just do that, and should I add some speakers on the side? I know it looks more like an oven than a TV at the moment. Oh, I know what I could do. I could just outline this and fill it in. Nope. And I can then draw a little gleam on the screen. We're gonna get the surround sound grip. Yeah, that's a good point. Alright, and now I'm gonna do like a big ol' I might need to be square. Also, I'm on the wrong layer. Oops. Ah. Dang it. That's fine. Oh, hold on, BRB. Real quick. And sorry about that. Let's get back to what we're doing. Also, oh yeah, Ray Killer says a new WarioWare DIY game would be a blessing and a curse because I would have to support my DIY games. Yeah. It was genuinely a good game though, like, it's weird that they just did it one time and decided never to do it again. It's a shame though, because like, the WarioWare series, you know, it's such a good series to make a kind of maker type game for, you know? Yeah, you can't do Markdown in here. And I can actually do some dithering here. Let's try it. Mm-hmm. Oh, weird. How does that work? Is it not... Does it only do, like... This is weird. How does it work? Oh, is it not... Does it not have a background? Oops. I guess I'll have to do, like, one thing at a time. I'll just do it like that. It's a shame the dithering tools in, like, or at least what lets you do dithering in A-Sprites is really bad. Like, surely you'd expect it to be better, considering it's, like, made for pixel art. And dithering is super important for pixel art, but nope. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's better than GBG for sure, but I mean, you know, I like A-Sprite, but this is not really a good way of handling that stuff. Yeah, I don't mind that. Although I think it might be, like, too bright. Like, it will probably cover up some stuff. Let's see if I can give that a different look. If I start with this pattern, or this one. Oh, but we get some ugliness in the corners there. Huh. I mean, is it bad at full scale? Maybe it's noticeable. What if I just cheat and do that? Yeah, it's probably better to do that. And then I can... Oh, weird, it won't even let me paint the color I pick. Oh, it's because I'm erasing, duh. I'm a goof. I'm a goober. How do I erase with a brush like that? Come on. Okay, this is not... oops. This is not good. I should probably just not worry about making it look good. I should just worry about having something. It's probably a safer bet. So let's do that. I'll just make something okay. This should be fine. I feel like without WarioWare DIY's good texture creator would have been hell to recreate basically all the sprites. Yeah, it was really good sprite editor. Like, they remade it work well with the DS as well, which is awesome. Yeah, why not put a select thing in GBG? I know. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new right. So I can put my lovely dials in there. Right A here. Delete that. Should probably make it bigger though. Because I do want to animate it just a bit. Or I guess I can just leave it like that and just make a new frame. And I guess I'll just make like a little hole that it plugs into. Like that. So those are two states. And I can just like hide it from here. Like this. I'm gonna save that in this folder. PNG, new folder. Oh, I'm getting doxxed. Yeah, intermission. Whoop. How do I hide this? I can't hide this. I'm just gonna call that background. I don't want to duplicate the view, and I'm gonna export that as a sprite sheet. Yep. And I'm gonna save that as dial.png. And we can start building our seeds. So I'm gonna go into my rooms folder, and I've already got this intermission.lua file going on. Keep getting pinged on Discord. I thought streamer mode would mute Discord, but I guess not. What if I just leave Discord? There we go. No more Discord. And I've done a few tests already. I'm just gonna leave them for now. But currently, all it does is display some text. Now, I would like something more interesting, of course, so let's quickly check the documentation to see how to do backgrounds. Oh, nice. We can just make a background like this. Yeah, okay. Seems simple enough. I can just do that. So let's remove that first. And I will create a new local variable with my background image. And I'm guessing this is just calling a new image. So I can call, and you can use this function to basically look through my asset files and grab an image, and I will assign this to the background image variable. So assets, intermission, and background. Because I believe that's the name I've given it. Yep. There it is. And then, what's the function they use? Set drawing callback. Alright. Welcome back, Griff. GFX sprite, set background drawing callback. Ooh. That's a long name. Ah! Keep getting my windows mixed up. I guess I don't need Figma anymore. So I'll just quit that. So GFX, sprite, set background drawing callback. Nice. And inside, I can do a new function. That's how to use it, yeah. Yep. And X, Y, width, and height. And inside is background image. Draw at 0, 0. Okay. I guess we can try that, see what happens in our simulator. Hey, I mean, it's working. We've got a background image. And I believe I should be able to put sprites on top of that. So let's do that, shall we? Now, because I need to make multiple... I will need to make multiple dials to kind of represent lives. I think I should probably make them an object. Use some object-oriented programming. So what that means is I'm going to create an object that will spawn a new dial, and then I can call that object as many times as I want, and they all use the same template. So if I modify it, those changes will propagate to every instance of that dial, but they are technically independent, so I can animate them independently, which is going to be super useful. So let's see that. I'm going to create a new class, which I am going to call dial. And it's not going to... I mean, I can make it extend the sprite object. That's fine. Hey, Movies XP. Welcome to the stream. So now I'm going to make a function called dial init. And that's basically the function that's going to run whenever I make a new instance of my dial. So I want to create a new sprite stuff. So I'm going to do dial init bruv. Yeah. Oh, also I should rename that file real quick. Table 16 because Playdate's got a specific format for sprite sheets. They need to have a table appended to it, and then the size of each cell in the sprite sheet. It's weird, but as it's gotta be done. I'm gonna make a new local variable inside of that function. It's gonna just be called dial image, and I'm gonna set it to a new image table, which is what this is, the sprite sheet basically. And I can tell it to fetch the intermission dial file. And that's going to load this image right here with my two sprites. Okay? And now I can create a new object, which is going to be called dial. And it's going to be a new animated sprite, which is a third-party library that handles animated sprites. It's as easy as it sounds, but it is very useful. I believe the syntax for that is animated sprite new. Let me do a quick sanity check. Yes. Oh, it's dot new. And then I can give it the dial image thing. And then I will give my dial states, because this animated sprite library adds something called a state machine, which handles changing between animations, which are called states. So my first state is going to be idle, and I can tell it which frames it should pick. Now we only have 2, and I only want the first one, so I'm going to set it to 1 and 1. But I will say the first frame and the last frames of this animation are this one. And because they're the same, that means it's not really going to be an animated object at all. But that's fine. I am also gonna move my dial to a specific position on screen, which I'm simply gonna call X and Y. Now, because I need to make dials at specific locations, I want to be able to tell where it should go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add parameters to my initialization function. Those are X and Y. And when I call this move to method, it's just going to look at what values I put instead of this X and Y, and it's going to put them here instead. And then I can finish by add, which will add my sprite to the screen. Although I think it should be called play animation because I'm using the animated sprite new. I guess there's only one way to find out now. So I'm going to move down into this intermission enter function. And that's going to run whenever my intermission room is loaded onto the screen. So I'm simply going to try it right now. I'm going to make a new local variable called dial1, and I'm going to set it to dial. This is the dial object that I've created right here, and I'm going to give it my coordinates. So x, let's try and put it right in the middle of the screen. So that's going to be 200 and 120 pixels. So those are the coordinates of the center of the screen. And if I build, hopefully, oh, it's here. Oh wait, no, no. This would be the center of the screen if that was like a high-res game, but I actually made it low-res because that way I don't have to make big sprites. So I should have these values. But now it should work. Now we should have a dial smack in the middle of the screen. You can't see the edges because, there's no outline, but it's there. And that's awesome. That means my initialization function is working. Yay! So let's try and position it better. Let's see. I might have to do a lot of guesswork. Or I can maybe just look at here and see, because it's gonna tell me the coordinates on the bottom of the screen. So the center would be around here. So I would want to position my dials where? Here. 64, 100. Okay, let's try that. 64, 100. And build that. And now it should be here. Perfect. And what I can do is I can make more dials. So I will say dial 2, and I can just call a second one, because that's what this thing allows me to do. I can call as many instances of that as I want. And that second dial is 100, 88, 100. The third dial will be 112, and the fourth would be 136. So 88, 100. This one was 112. So dial 112 and 100. And the last one, dial 4, is 136, 100. So now we should have 4 dials on screen. Just like that. Excellent. So I'm gonna go back in my dial function over here. I'm gonna make a new one, which is gonna be dial, and I'm gonna call it lose. So that's a custom function, and that's gonna allow me to do things when I call that function. So if I want to, at any point, make one of those dials display differently, I can call that function right here. First, I'm going to add a new state, which is popped, and this one is going to use frame 2, which is this one right here. So let's do that. And when I call the dial lose function, I want to display the animation. Well, change the state to display this pumped state. And that will be using the method called change state. And I can just put in the pumped state. And I can even play a sound as well. But I would need to add a local variable, playdate, playdate sound, sample player, new. So that's gonna create a new sound effect player, basically. And I'm gonna grab pop cork and I'm gonna play it. So sfx.play. So now inside my game, I can call this, and that will check for when the player presses the B button. And if I do that, I should be able to call the lose function on any of those dials. So I'm going to try dial 2, for example. Dial 2 lose. And I'll do end. And let's try it. So if I press B on the screen... Oh, never mind. Global dial 2. Huh. Is it not... I mean, it's right there. I think I know what I need to do. I need to set all of those outside of my functions, because this local is a scope indicator. Scope basically means confining a variable inside a file or inside a function. So the way I had them called local in here meant that those variables only existed inside this specific function, which meant that if I tried to call a function of that variable, it wouldn't work, because in this function here, those wouldn't exist. So I need to first declare them in the root of my file, and that way they become local to the entire file. So any function inside it will be able to actually, retrieve it, basically. So this should work now. If I press B, oh, we get another error. Attempt to index a nil value. Global dial. Oops. Doesn't sound good. Oh, here. Silly me, it should say self because I want to change the state. Oh, wait. Aha. Yeah, so I'm at the same error with making something local. I should probably use this. This is basically going to store the variable inside of my dial object. It's probably a better way of doing that, so... let us try that again. And see what it does. Oop. Oh, something happened? It didn't like that. Uh-oh. Didn't like that at all. How come? Oh, of course. I'm being silly. That's the answer. Okay, now if I press B, please work. Hey, look at that. My second dial popped. Awesome. If I do that again, yeah. And if I want to change which dial pops, I can just change that number. If I make it 4 and build again, now it will pop the 4th one. Like that. Cool. Excellent. So with that's done, I will be able to display lives, which is going to be fun. But first, let's try and make it so that we can actually jump into our microgame. So, right now, I'm only doing so when I press the A button. And that's not ideal. I want to do that basically right... Well, I want to do that automatically. So, I'm going to be... how could I... What would be the best way of doing that? I'm guessing I could have something in this function here. Although, it might be best to make it a function on its own and then call the function inside here. So let's try that. So function intermission and go to game. And inside that function, I'm just going to tell the manager to enter my game like this. So now, let's do something here. So I think it should happen after a delay. And for that, I can use a timer. So let's try... creating a new scene timer variable. And I'm going to give it a value here. Scene timer. Timer. New. Let me double check that. That should be it. Yes, that is the one. Although these are kind of similar looking. But maybe it's best to use perform after delay for that. So timer, perform after delay, and I need to give it a value. And I think for that, let's say maybe, well, I guess it would depend on the duration of my music sample, because there's going to be some music in there. Oh, I can't use VS Code to play it, that's fine. Let's check the folder real quick. So assets, intermission. So I just grabbed some musics from DIY. Let's check the duration of that. So it says 4 seconds. So I guess we can say 4 seconds. But I actually made a function which is gonna convert time units, because in WarioWare, time is measured in beats, because the speed of the microgames, increases the more you play. So using values in seconds wouldn't work, because, if I just use seconds or milliseconds, if the game ran twice as fast, the delay would be the same, so it would feel twice as slow. And that wouldn't work. So I made this that converts a number of beats into milliseconds for me, according to a BPM value, a tempo, which is stored in a game settings object that I've got. So that way I can handle speeds without too much hassle. I'm pretty happy with getting that working. I can actually show it to you, by the way. So let's hop back into the demo. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna quickly comment that out, just in case it breaks anything. So, as you can see, things are moving at a certain speed, but if I were to go into my game settings file, I can change the tempo. I can set it to 240 instead of 120, and now my game will actually run twice as fast, which is pretty cool. And similarly, I can set it to 60, and now my game will run twice as slow as its normal speed, which is super neat. Although right now it doesn't change the height, the pitch of sound effects, but that should be pretty easy to fix. I'll get to it eventually. I just need to not forget. Anyway, let's set that back to 120. And as you can see inside this game settings object, I've also got a few extra settings, so lives and difficulty. Those will be useful later. Alright, let's get back to this. So I have my beats to milliseconds utility there, and I'm gonna do 8 beats, which is equal to 4 seconds. And I need to give it a function to perform. And that function will be I think it should just be self. Go to game. Like that. So let's try this. So I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna. Oh, well, never mind, because it's broken. Callback must be a function. Okay. Well, it is a function. Oh wait, no, it is a method. I need to put a dot in here to make it a function, I believe. Okay, I'll just do that then. Function. And I will put my intermission go to game thing in here. Or I guess intermission? Looks pretty unhappy. Doesn't like that. If I do that... Oh, it's even less happy. Huh. How does that work? Maybe there's an example in the manual that will help me? Let's see. Basic Playdate game in Lua. Function, blah blah blah, end. I guess it needs an end bit then. So, okay, let's try that again. Function. Intermission. Go to game. And then end. And then I can close the brackets. Okay. Hopefully that will work now. Hey, look at that! It jumped automatically. So if I restart, I'm not pressing any buttons, and it's switching on its own to the new scene. Excellent. So that worked. Alright, so I guess I can play a sound effect now. So I'm gonna make a new variable called sfx intermission. In here, I'm gonna set it to Playdate sound sample player new, and I'm gonna tell it to look for the assets intermission file, and I will tell it to play that file. So intermission play. So now if I start, it should just play that sound effect. Start. Hey, nice. It's a bit loud though. Oh wait, I can change the volume on the... Oops. Wrong thing. There we go. Just gonna turn down the volume a bit. But it is working. It's playing the music. But it's not quite the right length. So I'm gonna adjust that. I'm gonna tell it to run for 8.5 beats. Maybe that's a better length. Still no. I guess it would be 9 beats then. Let's try that again. Okay, that's better. It seems really filtered for us. Oh, maybe yeah. I think that's because I'm filtering my sounds in OBS. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm bad at this audio stuff. I'll see if I can figure it out later. I might have to help me with that, Dom, later. But yeah, it is fine on my end, right? But yeah, music is gonna sound a bit out of tune, maybe. But just know that it's because of my audio setup not being quite good. Alright, so what I can do now is in this game here, I've got it set up to leave the room on B press, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually leave when the timer is expiring. And for that, I'm actually going to go in my base file for that. So the way it's kind of organized is I've got a room object, which is provided by a library called Roomy, which is a library that enables scene management for Playdate, which is what I'm using to, be able to switch between scenes. And I extended that object into my custom microgame class just so that I could put a timer, like a timer in every microgame without having to manually call it each time. And then when I want to make a new microgame, I can just extend the microgame object that I've got right here, and it's automatically gonna get my stage timer, and everything else I put into here. So that's good. It means I can do stuff that will basically need to be done for every microgame without having to type it over and over again each time. So that's one of the big advantages of this object-oriented approach for programming. Alright, so I guess I'll have to check whenever my stage timer is expiring, so I'm gonna do that inside the update function of my room. So this update function will run 30 times a second. So every 30th of a second, it's gonna run anything inside that function. And that's how I'm going to check if my timer is expiring. So let's quickly jump into my stage timer script, which is right here. And I've actually stored a value here. So I have a I guess it's variable inside my function, which is called self-timer, and I can retrieve the value by doing timer.value. So if I go into my microgame and I type in self-timer.timer.value, that should give me well, the value of my timer. So if I were to store it inside here, and print it to the console, hopefully, provided that my update function, my room update function is, there's no, Well, there's no custom update in my room, I believe. That's fine. So hopefully that shouldn't break. Let's hope for the best. Oh, I need to check the console. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, you can see the value going down because I'm reading from it every frame. Awesome. That's perfect. So now that I know it's working, I can do a simple check. So if timer value is equal to 0, then I can call the manager and switch back to yeah, I can enter my intermission scene. And now we should have a loop going on. So let's try that. I'm not gonna touch anything, I'm just gonna let it do its thing. And it switches automatically. So now we're kind of stuck in a loop, but, you know, it's working. It's working as intended, which is great. Now, there is one thing that I need to do, and that is checking for a win condition. Because obviously, just looping between games without checking that I've won or lost them, that's not going to make for a good game. So I need to figure out how to do that. So I think I'll have to do that in my microgame base. And I will define a new setting, which is called self game state. And I'm going to set it to lose. So the intent will be to have it always lose if the microgame, if nothing is happening in the microgame. And then when I need to, I can change it to win. And I should be able to set that in here. So if I go in my digging for gold code, I'm gonna try and find where in my code the game detects if the finger is in the nose. So it's here. So that's what determines, so that's what happens like when the finger is actually in the nose. So I should be able to do self game state and set it to 1. Or we're just gonna do it like that. And now if I print this, so if I print self dot game states, or actually I should probably make it a local variable. Let's see what happens. I'm going to just open the debug console here. So it's saying lost, and then... Oh, it's still saying lost. Man. Yeah. Still saying lost. So I'm guessing... I'm guessing that I'm not able to actually set it in my base file here. So I guess I would just have to make it a parameter. Than my actual game, and I would have to just do it every time I make a new game. So let's go into my enter thing. But that's weird because it should be creating it here. And because I have this, it does create my my losing game state. So maybe if we try doing function, digging for gold, update, and super update self. So that's gonna basically grab any... So that's gonna basically tell it to use the update function that's right here. And everything I add to it will be appended to that. So if I omit that line, it's just gonna outright replace everything in here. So this code won't work anymore. So I have to make sure that I have this line right here to allow this code to run. So I guess I'm just gonna have a local variable again. And I can just print game state and see what's happening. Oh, what's this? Syntax error near function. Oop, should be end. So debug console. It should print something. Lost. So we know that it's working. But it's not actually setting it to be true. So I'm gonna go back in here. Yeah, so it's able to retrieve the game state bit. But it's unable to change it, it seems. Which is odd. Oh, that's because I'm in my pinky object, not the scene object. Whoops. That's why. Oop. Oops. Is it not printing anymore? Oops. I still need to print them. There we go. Debug console. So it's saying lost, and now it's saying won. Excellent. Oh, but it's still saying won at the beginning, so I need to go... Oh, weird. Because when I'm entering, it should be reset to lost. That's interesting. So why is it not doing that? That's interesting. So it managed to change the game state, but even though this should reset that value to lost, it actually doesn't do it. Weird. I mean, I guess it would be as simple as going into the entering function and setting the game state to lost, and that should fix it. Oh. What was that? 112. Oops. There we go. So let's check the debug console again. So it's saying lost. It's not saying won anymore. Why is that? Let's try removing this, removing that, and removing this. And I'm just gonna declare it here. So I'm gonna declare my local is game 1. And then when I get into the minigame, I'm gonna set is game 1 to false. And in here, I'm just gonna say is game 1 equals true. And then I can just print is game 1 and we'll see what happens. So it should print false until I get the finger in the nose. Now it prints true. But is it gonna print false again? Yes! Awesome. Okay. So that is working better. Now the question is, can I do that inside the microgame base file? I guess that's what I need to find out. So I'm gonna remove this from here, and I'm gonna remove this as well. And instead, I'm gonna put that in microgame base. So I'm gonna declare a local is game 1 variable. And when entering the game, I'm gonna set it to false. Now my question is this gonna work? Hopefully. Nil. Okay. Weird. So nil is a bad sign because it means that this bit here that says to set is game 1 to false is actually not happening. which is not great. So that means I should actually have if game1 inside of my file here and not in here. So I'll just have to remember to do that, which is fine. I can always make a template file that I can copy and just, put in here. Alright, so I guess now I need to basically transfer that over to my intermission screen. So let's check the microgame base. So as you can see here, we have my function that says enter intermission, but I should be able to just put anything I want. In this case, I want to send over is game1. And now in my intermission screen, as you can see here, the intermission function has previous, so that is the name of the previous scene I was in, but there are also these little dots, and that means that this function accepts a variable number of arguments. And that's what I did here. So it's sending not only the scene that I want to move to, but it's also sending the value of is game1. And I should be able to retrieve it by doing local game is game1, and I should be able to store the first argument of this. So this represents any arguments beyond this one, and there can be any number of that. So using this select function, I'm gonna say, all right, take the list of arguments inside here and pick the first one. So hopefully that should work, and I'm just gonna say, all right, now you can print is game1, and we'll see what happens. So what I'm expecting to see, if it goes well, we should see nil, and then depending on what I do in the game, we should then see either false or true. So let's give that a try and see if it works. And hope that it doesn't crash, of course. So here it said nil. Now I'm gonna play, so it said true. And it said nil and true, which is odd. What if I do false? Oh, weird. So it's catching nil, but it's also catching false. Which is weird. It shouldn't be calling the two of them, right? I'm only telling it to print once. Maybe if I declare my variable beforehand. So what is that gonna do? So it says nil, which means it has no value. It says nil, but also true, which is odd, but hopefully that's gonna be enough to detect whether we come from a one minigame or a last one. So let's try that. So I'm gonna make a function which is gonna be called Well, not a function. I need an if statement. So if is game1 is equal to true, then I can play. I will need to make new SFX as well. So SFX 1, Playdate sound, sample player, new assets, game1. And I'll do the same for a lost sound. So a sample player, new assets, game lost. These are those files here. So if game1, oh, and I need to declare them here as well, just to be safe. The reason I have to declare my variables here and make them local is because global variables are actually slower to access. So that's a performance-related thing. So if game1, I can play SFX1, and I can do a timer thing. So I've got my scene timer, and I can just do scene timer equal playdate timer performer after delay. Now I believe those sound effects are a bit shorter, but I'm not sure how short they are. So I'm just gonna have to enable it. I'm just gonna say 8 for now. Well, beats. 8 beats, not milliseconds. And then I need my function, which is go to game. Oh no, that's not how I did it. It needs to be here. All right. And then I can continue my if statement. I can do else if, so I can check for whether if game1 is false, then I can play SFX lost. And I can do the scene timer again. And then I can finish by doing an else, and that's going to cover every other case. Because is game1 can have 3 values. It can have true, false, but it can also have nil. And so else will basically be able to check whether it says nil, because it's going to be neither true or false. It's going to be nil, so that's going to work. Else, I'm going to play SFX intermission. And I'm going to set my scene timer. And I believe I set 9 beats, or 9.5. We'll see. It's very likely that it will break. So that works. Let's start by losing. I'm not going to do anything. Oh, man. Yeah, so the thing about it detecting nil, I guess that's not really helping us. That's weird, because it should be working. Let's see. Is game 1 true? Yeah. Maybe if I do game set it to false, print, send that over, and in my game itself, I'm just gonna quickly add this here. So self game1 equals true. Will that do anything? Yeah. Oops. Hey, it worked! Oh, never mind. Oh, it was too good to be true. Let me quickly print this instead. Oh man, I was so happy. Or a little bit. No, it's still false. That's why. Why is it not setting the... Oh, I did a goof again. Because it's not this... It's in the pinky function, so whenever I type self, it's gonna refer to pinky, not the game. That's why. Silly bunny. I've made that mistake twice already. So now it's true, and... Hey! Nice! Oh, come on! No! Was it not working? Is it not resetting? That might be why. But that's weird, because it should be resetting here. In this function. I can just do that, though. I can just do that and forget about it, I think. So I'm gonna win? Oh, well, never mind, I will lose. I'm gonna win? What? What? Why? That's so weird. What the heck is going on here? Why isn't it working? But why? That is the question, but why? I didn't misspell it. Let's try something else. I'm gonna set a new method. And I'm gonna do that. And then I can just do like win. Hopefully it should work. Let's try. False. True. Okay. But it's not resetting. Still. But it should. Maybe if I put it down the stack? No idea. Something with a flow order of codes. Well, it shouldn't, because this flag win is only called as part of the pick function. And that pick function is only called when the A button is pressed. I'm just gonna do a sanity check still. So if it's set to true, that's weird, because like, so if I go into this digging for gold stuff, where is it? Here. So this is the enter function. And this bit here, that should tell it to do everything in here. So by all accounts, game 1 should be reset. But it isn't. Which is concerning. I mean, I can just do that. But then I'm scared it will break again. False. And now it's not setting it to true anymore. Which is weird, because this should be only called once. Yeah, this is weird. This is really weird. So what if I just I'm just gonna comment that out. And that as well. What if I just do it here? So self is 1, false. So it should only be when I'm calling. And up there, I can just do it's true. And when I leave, let's see. False. False. Why is that? Am I not able to refer to this class? Maybe I need to do that here. If true. Okay. So I guess I'm not actually able to refer to my object directly. But I guess it's working now, so I need to remember to do that here then. Alright. So what if I remove all of that and I put it back here? So I can declare self is 1 as false directly from here and not have to manually set it. False. True. False. Alright. Well, that's working now. Neat. Now it's true and it should play the window. Okay, well, that's good, it's working now. Alright, let's continue. So we can now tell whether the game has been won or lost. So I can remove that. Don't need to show it all the time anymore. I don't need those either. Remove that. Sure, I can leave that in, just in case I need it. Okay, cool. So, I suppose now... yeah, I suppose now I can try and figure out how to make my lives indicators work. So I've got 4 dials here. So what I would need to do is read my number of lives from this game settings object and be able to change the state of my dials based on that. So inside my dial thing, well, no, maybe not in here. Well, first, I'm gonna retrieve my... Well, actually, no, I don't need to do that. So when I enter this room... I need to do a check, so... Huh. There's probably a better way to do this. Like, I'm convinced there is. But... This is bad. This is a bad idea, but... I should not be doing that. This is terrible. Please don't do it like that. This is bad code. No, I don't like what I'm doing here. I hope I can figure out a much nicer way to do that. How would I do that? I guess I would need some kind of loop. Because what I'm doing here right now is not a very nice thing to do. Making a specific result for each edge case is not going to help me. But how would I do that? I'm not super familiar with loops, I'll be honest. Alright, let's try. Alright, Dom. Hope you have a good dinner. Alright, let's educate ourselves. Let's educate ourselves. Oops, didn't mean to close that. Lua for loop. Okay, so for something equals, yeah, okay. All right, then Lua executes something for each value of var from exp1 to exp2 using exp3 as the step to increment. Okay, so in this bit here, it's gonna make a new variable called I, which is gonna start at 1 and end at 10, and then it's gonna check in increments of 1. Gotcha. So I guess I would need to make it 0 to 4. That feels wrong though. Well, maybe 1 to 4. Maybe I need to make my dials a table instead as well. Like this. And then I can create 4 dials. Let's just try that, just for a bit. Let's educate ourselves on tables as well. Create a table and store its reference in A. Okay. New entry with the key. Okay. Right. So I can do dials and use the I as my index, I think. And I can set it to be equal to a new dial function. And that dial function should be... shoot, I forgot the positions of my dials. Let's quickly refer back to that. 100. So 64, 100. So that's the first dial. But because I'm using a loop, it's gonna make a bunch of them at the same place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start with, like, say, maybe 90 on X, maybe 64 on X plus, I multiplied by 12 and 100. And see what that does. Just to see if anything happens. Okay. So it made 4 dials. Nice. That's good. I do need to adjust my... where is it? Just need to adjust my positioning a bit. But otherwise... I would say that's fairly promising, right? So I'm gonna do that instead. How spaced apart are they, though? 24. So 24, 54, that's 40. So hopefully we should be back at what we used to have before. Yep. Okay. Nice. But instead of I'm gonna use the lives thing that I've got. So I'm just gonna say game settings dot lives. So that should retrieve this here. This number of lives. So let's try it. Hopefully we should still have 4. Yep. But if I set it to be 3 instead, now we should only have 3 dials showing up. Hey. This also means that I can be a bit silly and put 8 of them if I wanted to. But it would go off screen, of course. Okay, nice. So we've got that. Now, ideally, I should also... Well, actually, I should have 4 of them. I should still have 4 of them, but some of them should be directly set to their popped state. So what I'm just gonna set it back to 4, and then I guess I can do another for loop afterwards. So for I equals 1 and oh yeah, I know what I can do. I can get rid of these. I'm gonna set that to be the default state. But how do I do that? Let's check the animated sprites documentation. Yeah. Do I do the thing I want to do? Adding states, name, start frame, blah 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 blah. If you want another state to be default, you can type in as default after adding the state. Okay, cool. So as default, so that's gonna make them pop by default, but in this new loop, I'm gonna grab game settings.lives as my last digits, still gonna increment by 1. And what I'm gonna do is for each dial, I'm gonna change state to idle. So let's see what happens. Nothing. Change state is not callable. A nil value. Whoopsie. Really? Oh. Dot dial. Change state instead. Right? Yeah. Okay. So far so good. Now let's change the lives to 3. Hey, look at that! We've got a lives display that's fully functional. So if I set my lives to 1, it's only going to show 1 dial. Awesome. Heck yes. That is going very well. So now, let's make it so that the number of lives actually changes. So, I think what I can do is make that a function. So I'm gonna cut that and make a new function called check dials. And I'm just gonna call that at the start of the game. If I do check dials, normally, well, it should be working. Yep, it is working. Awesome. I'm gonna set my lives back to 4 though. There we go. And I'm gonna check whether my game is won. So if this game 1 is equal to false, then I'm going to be I need to set my game settings lives to -1. So what this does is it takes the number that's already in here and it removes 1. And so that's a handy little function. It basically replaces doing this. You know, that's a lot nicer to type. So that's what it does. And I can do check dials again. So now, hopefully, losing a game will make me actually lose a life. So first let's win. Just make sure everything is working. But now, if I lose, this is what's gonna happen. Oh, nothing's happening. Okay. Oh, dang it. Oh, but I'm already doing something here, right? I can just reuse that function. Settings, lives. Can I do that? I'm sure I could. Let's try that. Not game 1. Sorry, game... Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's the one. Let's try that again. Maybe I'm overwriting the function. Still gonna win this one just for sanity check. And now I'm gonna lose. What if I lose again? Okay. Interesting. So it did change the value, but it didn't do the check dials function. So... Oh, right. I know why. That's because... all this does is change the state to idle. But if they're already idle to begin with, this function is not going to do anything. So I need to find a way to maybe invert it. So I'm thinking, what if I swap those values and I just count backwards? And I change the state to... This is weird. I feel like this might not work. Let's try it. I don't have a good feeling about this, but I mean, you know. Oh, and I need to remove that. That's what these streams are for. No, that didn't work. 35. What's in line 35? 35. Checked out. Yeah, I think that's not really what I'm supposed to do. Oh! Actually, I was right. It can do that. It can do that, but... Okay, let's try that and see what it does. Oh, what? Died again. Attempting to index a nil value... line 35. Yeah. What is it indexing? Oh no. Hold on, BRB? Well, I think I might need to just call it there, though, because I need to make dinner. But I'm actually very happy with the progress we've made. So we actually built a functional, at least until I kind of broke it. We built a functional intermission screen. That's awesome. Very happy about that. I will keep working on it later on and see if I can get this whole like lives updating working properly. But yeah, it's still good that I managed to build this intermission screen thus far. All right. I will see you soon then. I hope you have a great rest of the day, everybody. Take care, and I will see you. Well, soon, hopefully. But until then, bye everyone.